I'm back, Road Rants, with another video podcast, and this is going to be podcast number 3 for Star Wars. However, it is not part of the countdown. It won't be nearly as long a podcast as some of these other ones have been, but I still wanted to make it a podcast because I wanted to make it informal, and I enjoy doing these videos. This channel is not monetized as of yet, and in a lot of ways, it's going to get as much priority as the other channel, but is it going to grow like the other channel? No. There's too much competition, and I get to talk about the channel, so let's do that first. There's too much competition, and I found that out. I did find that out because I missed that initial growth spurt from The Last Jedi Fallout. I missed it by like a month when I started it on this channel. In fact, when I started it, when I put my very first Star Wars video ever was my original Last Jedi review. And in fact, I wonder if that's on the Road Ranch channel. If it is, I might actually pull that off and upload it so you guys can see it, because I know many of you have not seen that original. Very rough, but it'll show you how far everything has come in regards to Road Rants on pop culture, black and white sports. A couple of things I would be remiss in saying. A lot of you guys, almost all of you, are probably subscribed to the regular channel or the other channel. I'm going to keep doing that. Thank you. I just crossed 2,000 subs. And guys, the switching content worked like a charm. The most unprecedented amount of growth for my channel in the history of my channel. I got over a month's worth of growth in 7 days. I added 170, almost 180 subs in 7 days. I was averaging on a very good month doing Star Wars 150 subs, and that is at the height of growth. It was more like 70. 70 subs a month is what the old, and that's what this channel will grow like. It'll be slow going. It really will. And it's one reason I'll do a lot of these longer videos. I want you to be able to just put them on. I watch many of my videos on my TV. Roku, I turn them on, just let them play while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I watch Joe Rogan a lot, and he's a podcast. You know, I used to shy away from longer videos. I don't so much anymore. Because I just want to be able to, when I'm working, I want to be able to put them on and let them play. There's probably a lot of people in the community out there that think I don't watch their videos anymore. They're wrong. I still watch everybody's videos. But these days, because I do it when I'm working and I've got to have my hands free, for the most part, I open up the video, hit the like button, and just let it play and listen to it. But I don't usually comment much anymore. Which sucks. I mean, I wish I could, but, you know, the new incarnation of the other channel, I've got to research political videos and put quite a bit more into those videos because I want to make sure my information is absolutely correct over there. And it just takes longer to put one of those videos together because I want to look at multiple sources and read. And if I have to watch a couple of research videos maybe or something going into a video, we're at a very important time in our country's existence right now. And John Matrix, myself, we're just in the very beginning of our voices being heard in a movement that's being led by a lot of other really important people. Enough of that. Enough of that for today. Star Wars. We've got a couple of items. And we're going to also talk about Jon Favreau. We're going to talk about Doomcock's latest video. Okay, y'all know I'm a big Doomcock fan. He's got sources just like I've got. So I'm sure he's got more sources than I do because of the size of the channel. He mentioned something in his video, and he could not have been more correct. Lucasfilm absolutely looks at comments. And look, very early on, I remember being told by a leaker that J.J. Abrams was watching YouTube videos, The Phantom Menace. You guys don't remember? He mentioned that in an ABC interview on Good Morning America. He mentioned The Phantom Menace. Well, he was watching our videos. And any of those direct retcons to The Last Jedi was not only a response from JJ to Rian Johnson, but it was him attempting to try to make the Phantom Menace happy. And it didn't work out because the entire 3-part trilogy sucked. And that's what JJ didn't understand. He couldn't fix that mess no matter what. And yeah, he was partially responsible for it. But he was at least aware of what was going on. And I still would have loved to have seen the Son of Mortis as opposed to Palpatine. We didn't get that. We got the Rise of Skywalker, and we got, what's your name, dear? Ray Skywalker. Burn my eyeballs out with this cigarette lighter in my hand. And so anyway, yeah, Doomcock's right. Doomcock's right. Yeah. They do pay attention to YouTube. They pay attention to social media. I don't know who's watching now. I would say right offhand, people involved with Dave Filoni watches. I can tell you that for a fact. Because I made a couple of not so friendly Dave Filoni videos. And I got called out on it in email by my leakers. I did. Because they've got faith in Dave. And they were like, look, whoa, what are you doing? Dave knows what he's doing when it comes to Star Wars. They were like, Kathleen Kennedy? No. Dave Filoni? Yes. And I was like, look. And I just flat told him, look, if Dave says something, that's similar to something that Rian Johnson would say, I'm going to call him out for it. And when he starts talking up women and talking up Rey being the best female character ever, I'm going to call him out. I am. And at the end of the day, after some email conversations, they understood. They acknowledged it's your channel. You do what you want. I'm like, no shit. If that means I lose you guys as sources, I just lose you. They ultimately respected my decision. And saw where I was coming from, and I've been getting tips ever since. Still, but things did go quiet for about 3 good weeks after my first, and that Dave Filoni video actually got some views, for that channel. And I like Dave Filoni, but I've said Dave Filoni's not a number 1. He's in my opinion, he's a 2 or a 3, probably more like a 3. In my last video, I talked about how if George was to come back, it's my opinion. Look, and I said it makes all the sense in the world for Disney to ask him to come back. Whether or not he would or not, I don't know. And I'm smoking in this video. It's a video podcast. It's informal. These videos aren't monetized. If it was monetized, no, I would not smoke in this video because I'm pretty sure that YouTube would actually demonetize the video. They might not. I don't know. Maybe not. My videos are listed as not for kids. Okay, so we'll come back around to the Doomcock thing towards the end, okay, for the latest video. But I wanted to touch on the fact that, yeah, Lucasfilm watches videos. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. The Mandalorian couple of different things came out this week on The Mandalorian. Let's go with the Emmy nominations first, because it was nominated for 15 Emmys. A lot of different ones. I'm not even going to go over them. As you know, if you watch the other channel, I'm not big on award shows. I'm not. But I'll tell you why I'm even talking about it. In terms of Hollywood, Hollywood loves award shows. And for them, it brings credibility. It doesn't for us, but for the ones that make decisions, award shows absolutely bring credibility. I'm back. I had to turn my air down. I was like, Jesus, it's hot in here. It was on 73, but God, we're so humid out here. It's just like ridiculous. Anyway, why is award show important? At least in this case. Because this is Jon Favreau's show. And now Jon's got another pelt on the wall towards his resume in eventually taking over Lucasfilm, we hope. And I said in the last video, if George comes back, I think it'll be temporary. George is old. George is 76, I think. And he won't be around long. If George comes back, I figure it'll be for a year or two. Maybe 3, but more like a year or 2. And Jon Favreau will be under George, and Dave Filoni will be under Jon. And I don't think we as Star Wars fans could ask for anything more. Now, do I think George is coming back? I still don't know. I said from a business standpoint, yeah, I would ask if I would at least, I'd ask him every week if I was Disney. But I think it'll be Jon. I do. I think it'll ultimately be Jon Favreau. And I wonder if that will not be partially that George just says, give it to Jon. Give it to Jon. Because him and George have spent so much time together. But it's these Emmy nominations are another pelt on the wall for Favreau. Along with all of his work with the MCU, regardless of how you feel about The Lion King, it made all the money. Now, I know a lot of people in the fandom minutes hate it. What I will tell you is everybody in my personal life away from YouTube absolutely loves the Lion King movie. They loved it. Took their kids. Their kids loved it. They own it. And just regular folks that don't keep up with the narrative that we drive, sometimes we forget about that. They're not caught up in social media. I got a buddy who, until I told him there was fallout around The Last Jedi, he had no idea. And he's a big Star Wars fan. But he was like, look, I got kids, I got a life, I got to work 70 hours a week. I can't watch YouTube videos, really. He watches mine now, my political ones. But he doesn't have time to devour time, commit time to side stuff like Star Wars until it's time to watch the movies. And this is somebody that puts his money where his mouth is. He buys the merch and all kinds of stuff, Now, on to the next thing, and I'll probably read an article involved with this one or part of an article. The Mandalorian Season 2 is going to deal with Star Wars lore. The Darksaber's true purpose will be revealed. Interesting. So, and I think there was an interview done with Giancarlo Esposito. By the way, he was nominated for an Emmy for guest work. The Mandalorian Season 2 will explain the origins of a major piece of Star Wars lore. It's been revealed. The Darksaber, a lightsaber-like weapon seen at the end of Season 1 of the now Emmy-nominated Disney Plus series, will be a major focus in the next set of episodes. That's according to Giancarlo Esposito, who played Moff Gideon. You'll see more of the Darksaber. You'll get an explanation of the ancient weapon to the modern world, a collapsed world. He told Deadline. Where did this saber come from? How was it revived? It's a key in our second season, which will be back sooner than later. October. It's a month earlier this time. Good God. It's August 1st. Wow. We should be getting a Mandalorian trailer pretty soon. The Darksaber is a Mandalorian-made weapon, so it makes sense that we'd find out more about it given the title of the show. The finale of Season 1 teased the audience that we'd learn more about Baby Yoda's origin, but otherwise we have not been clued in on what's planned by Jon Favreau and his team of Lucasfilm storytellers. The saber is the key to Moff Gideon's past, which possibly has a lot to do with where he comes from and his desire to build a planet and bring it back together. Interesting. So are we going to find out that Moff Gideon is a defected Mandalorian that left and went to the Empire? That's sort of interesting. That could be really interesting. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating to find out how the hell did you get that saber. Right? Now, to Doomcock's rumors. Doomcock gave a 3 different scenario. Lucasfilm was considering 3 different options. And I'm not going to go over every option. I'm just going to touch on the one that I've heard anything about. We know the world between worlds is a thing. And like I said in my last video, I made a video a long time ago about that's how you save Luke and Episode 9. Well, Disney didn't listen to me. Should they have? Maybe we'd be in a better place right now, because Luke Skywalker would have been alive. But the scenario he gave was where they would use the world between worlds to retcon certain outcomes, particularly of The Last Jedi, but it would also be used to modify certain parts of The Force Awakens and The Rise of Palpatine. I think this is the most likely scenario, and it is the one that I've actually heard something about. So now you got 2 of us. And it's the one that Doomcock liked the least. You know, I get it. I just assume they scrap all the sequel trilogy. But do I really think they're going to do that? No, I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. Because they're going to piss off 3.5 out of 10 of the other side of the fandom then. So I don't know how they're going to do that. I really don't. I think that, personally speaking, they probably ought to scrap it just because, frankly, they're going to piss those fans off anyway when you start retconning parts of the sequel trilogy. Because they're going to say that we know how it is. When Kathleen Kennedy's gone, the media has done nothing but prop her and Rian Johnson up. It's my belief that's the only reason Kathleen still has a job and wasn't gone last year, is because the media went on a mission to save Kathleen Kennedy because she's a woman. Let's just call it what it is, because she's a woman. The left-leaning media went on this, let's save Kathleen. They've done it with Rian Johnson, writing all these articles. I mean, there are so many pro-Rian Johnson media articles out there, like he is the greatest thing ever created in the history of directors and writers. We know that's not the case. But you get the point. You get the point. I think Kathleen would have I think Iger would have liked to have gotten rid of Kathleen. I truly do. Last June. Earlier than that, probably. Before JJ accepted the Warner Brothers job. Yeah. And I still believe that JJ losing creative control over the rise of Palpatine had to do with the fact that he opted to sign with Warner Brothers versus signing a deal with Lucasfilm. He had a deal on the table with Lucasfilm to keep doing Star Wars. And JJ didn't want it. He didn't want the Lucasfilm president job. He was offered it by Bob Iger. That's from Grace Randolph. And I think Kathleen used that as bargaining chip to Iger to take the rise of Palpatine away from JJ. So instead of getting Lucas and JJ's son of Mortis, we got Granddaddy cloned Palpatine. And we saw how that turned out. Tell me what you think, Rogue Squadron. Longer video, I get it. But look, I'd rather really get on here and talk to y'all about Star Wars and what's going on, cover a couple of different topics at a time, let you be able to put the video on, just let it ride, and we will just sit down and have a discussion about Star Wars. The Emmy nominations to us doesn't mean a lot, but to the Hollywood industry, to Bob Iger, to Bob Chapek, and ass clowns like that, the Emmy nominations are a big deal. It's a big deal. It's pelts on the wall for Jon Favreau. And that's a thing. In that industry, it's a thing. Emmy nominated. We've seen it. We've seen it. You know? We know how award shows play in Hollywood. It's a big deal to them. To them. To the industry. Consider hitting subscribe if you have not already. I will share this video on my community post on the other side in case anybody has not subscribed yet. Because judging by the transfer over, yeah. It's surprising, but I think that's where we are in the world right now. People are more concerned about the world right now than they are Star Wars. And it is understandable. I know we want an escape. I want an escape. But things are just loony right now in the real world. Loony. To quote Larry Elder, we've got a country to save. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.
King Kong in a